All right, gang, welcome back to our Island Preservation Challenge here on Ronida Island. It is June. We've got a couple of things to do today. One thing I want to mention is we're trying to figure out how I was going to get these stones up off the ground, and then I just thought to myself, what am I doing? I've got this shovel that we bought for like pretty much one use and haven't really utilized it since. Why don't we just use that? So here off camera, I've basically removed all of the stones from the ground. There should be no other stones remaining. There's a bump there that I missed somehow. I'll smooth that out. But anyway, there should be no more stones here, I don't think. We've got them all here, and I've already transported most of them, except for this last little bit here, into our stone pit here, our new stone heap here, if you will. So, and there we go. And as you can see, they are in there, and everything is looking real good there, so I'm happy about that. I'm going to put this shovel... I guess we'll just kind of put it up here against the edge here. I'm not really sure what else we'll put here, so that at least puts it in somewhere where it's easy to find. And we'll kind of go from there. Now, a couple things in the last episode. Well, it might have been 2 episodes ago now at this point. But a lot of you mentioned that, you like the asphalt color, which I do too. But it does look a little weird next to the fields without, some kind of a barrier break with some grass, things like that. I agree with you on that. That was a little bit of a lower priority for me, but I agree with you. But nonetheless, I did have a little bit of time before starting this episode. So I went through and put down some of the grass texture. I want to put some meadow grass in to make it look a little bit more realistic. Kind of, like here where this is an area where we didn't screw up, and already had grass there, right? But I'd like to add some meadow grass on top of this grass texture, so that way it looks a little bit more realistic. But again, that is a bit of a lower priority for me right now, but I will do that here soon at some point. Let me go ahead and smooth that little section out that I just saw that was not perfect. Let's just get that sorted. There we go. And what is going on here? Is this not smooth for some reason? I don't know. That was weird. Huh. Weird. I don't know what I would have done to cause that from the last episode, but okay, well, whatever. We'll smooth it out anyway. So there you go. But that gets that sorted out. So what that also means is we can go ahead and add the final bit here of this texture down on the ground and complete our transformation here to an asphalt approach for our yard area. Perfect. All right. How's everyone doing today? Hope you're doing well. Today, we've got a couple of things to do. 1, we've got some things to sell. 2, we've got this sorghum field here, which is ready to harvest, which is good for us because we've got some things we want to do with that. More specifically, we want to put some of it in for the chickens, first and foremost. Second of all, it gives us the opportunity to figure out when the best time is to sell sorghum. We know it's normally January, I think, so it won't be today, but that's okay, right? That's okay. We'll get there at some point. Now, what I probably should be doing, which all of you have mentioned already to me, and I'm kind of messing it up here already as it is, but I should be just putting this onto the trailer and then driving the trailer over here and unloading it off the trailer. It's a little bit faster, but it's not that big of a deal. I could walk it down here. It's not a huge deal right now. It really isn't. I mentioned it, I think, in the last episode. I'm going to mention again briefly here. The palletizer that's over there in the far distance. A couple of you mentioned that you've had some issues with it in the past where it gave you more than you were supposed to get. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. If that happens, I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to do something else because that is not what we want. We do not want to have a situation where we're getting an unrealistic amount from the palletizer, right? So if we put that in there and the palletizer does not, give us out pallets, if the same amount, right? Then we've got a big problem, and I'm going to have to remove that and figure out something else. Now, realistically, the palletizer should only be utilized for a brief period of time. Because once we get enough productions going, right, we can just take the actual harvest and directly dump it into whatever production we're utilizing, and then that production will produce pallets from whatever production we're making, right? So it shouldn't be a very, very long term thing to have that palletizer, but yeah, at least right now and for the foreseeable future here, I'm hoping to utilize that. So we'll see what happens. And kind of go from there, I guess, depending on how it goes. Very, very happy with how this is turning out. Things are looking really good. I'm really, really happy with it. Really happy with it. The whole area is starting to really come together now, which is good. We've got some money coming in, right? We've got a lot of buildings put down. We've got a lot more to do, but we've got a lot of buildings put down. So things are looking real good here for us. Now, today, we've got to harvest this field, as I mentioned, right? And I'm going to utilize a worker to help us do that. And then we've got to seed that field over here directly to our left. Honestly, I'll probably plow this field up here today as well. Get the stones up. Well, we'll probably plow it actually and just put down some oilseed radish and then you know, get the stones next time, more than likely. I don't think I need stones both times. Obviously, we've got that one stone heap now that we've put down, but it really only holds 100,000 liters of stones, and we're going to be at 100,000 liters of stones before you know it. A lot of you also mentioned with the stones at some point, and I agree with you, at some point we probably are going to have to just kind of create our own with, you know, some like cement wall like barriers or whatever, and that's really the way to go about it for sure, I think, at least long term. But for now, I do like what we put in. I really like that a lot, and we'll be keeping that for the remainder of the series. But as we continue to get larger and larger, more and more stones are going to be coming, and that means we are going to run out of room in that thing pretty quickly. A lot quicker than you might think. So once I get down here to the end, I'm going to put this on a worker, and then we're going to jump into the John Deere, and we're going to start drilling that field down there in the distance. Now, we had been keeping both of these fields as sorghum fields. I think I'm going to change it. I think this one that we're harvesting right now will continue to be our sorghum field, probably for the remainder of the series. I think I'm going to put something else in down there. I'm not quite sure what yet. It'll probably be... I was thinking of doing another cotton field. I know that sounds crazy, but I was thinking of doing another cotton field. The reason why I was thinking of doing another cotton field is because that's our big money maker right now. That's really the only production we have. And honestly, I'd like to get to a point where we're doing fabric first before we turn it into clothes, right? So taking the cotton and turn it into fabric gets you just a slight amount, but that's a little bit more in the long run. So I would like to go that approach. I said I wanted to go pretty heavy on cotton for this series after we kind of shifted gears after 2-3 episodes, whatever it was. So I think maybe another cotton field down there. It's a small cotton field, but maybe another cotton field would be beneficial there. We've got quite a number of fields now, so I feel confident that we can still, you know, keep it fresh by doing a few other crops here and there. But yeah, cotton I think is probably the way to go there. We do want to get ourselves a cotton harvester as soon as possible, and those are not cheap, obviously. Hopefully, we get lucky enough and we get one in the used market. The odds are we probably won't, but hopefully we get one in the used market. And we'll see what happens from there. Now, the competitive one-tile challenge just finished this past weekend. So, once again, thank you from both Crustu and Rusty Money and myself for watching and for partaking in that series with us and enjoying it. It was very successful, I think, for all three of us. I think all three of us are very much in a mindset that we will be doing it again. Probably will not be until mid to late fall, though, and then it'll run probably until early spring, something along those lines. We'll try to time it a little bit better this time. It's just a better period of time for all of us really to get videos done. You know, Rusty works at a Case agricultural dealership, so you know the farmers and stuff, it's really busy in spring and a little bit of summer and fall, so we're just going to try to time it a little bit better so we have a little bit better opportunity for us to be able to make sure we don't have any issues like we did here towards the tail end of that series where, you know, we didn't have a week, or we went a week without a single video, right? Now, I'm not sure if it'll be another one-tile challenge or not. It probably, if I had to guess, it probably won't. It probably will not. It'll probably be more of a generic type of, you know, competitive multiplayer where we pick a map. We all have the same amount of land. It's not just a, you know, blank space. There's actual fields on it, and there's buildings and things. But we all pick, you know, we have the same amount of land. We have two fields probably. Same amount of equipment. We start with 4 or 5 pieces of equipment, whatever. And then we just go. There's not really any major restrictions other than we are going to probably restrict some of the pallet stuff. But other than that, there's not really any major restrictions. You can buy any field you want. You can really do whatever you want to do. Which I'm actually really excited about. Like, I want to do that one next, personally. We never know. We might change our mind. There might be another idea that one of the guys comes up with. You know, my idea was the one-tile challenge, so it's really on one of them now. But I think that's the approach we're kind of thinking about doing. Is just a very standardized competitive multiplayer, which I think will be just as fun with 3 people. I think that's going to be pretty hectic. Ooh, we are full. There will be a lot going on there, right? There'll be a lot of pieces of land. It really, honestly, we would probably almost turn into own the map by all 3 of us, right? There's a high probability that all of the fields will be bought by the end of the series. All right, let's go ahead and get started here with the worker. I did a decent amount. There's still a few more that the worker's going to have to do here, and that's fine, but we'll let them do the thing. Let her do her thing there. And, all right, so let's get into the John Deere here. Let's go ahead and put this away first and foremost. I did not put this away from the last episode, but I will do so now. So, yeah, let's do cotton down there. Let's do cotton. I've got to move the case out of the way. I've got the case actually attached to it. I want to use the John Deere. This building here that we have is really nice. It's quite large. There's a lot of opportunity to stack some equipment on top of each other. Well, I say on top of each other, in front of each other, I guess, which is good, right? If you have a tractor in here, obviously you really can't do that, but equipment-wise, we can put a couple things in here together. Let's jump into the case and get this out of the Fiat, excuse me, and get this out of the way. Did I say case the first time, or did I say Fiat? I meant Fiat. I was talking about case, just had case on the mind, I guess. Anyway. Now, right now, this whole yard area that we have is quite large, right? Eventually, it's going to be a lot more populated with items, right? Right now, we just don't have a ton to put down. Right now, we don't have a ton of money either. I spent a lot of money on, you know, painting all this stuff and getting everything set. But, you know, soon enough, there will be plenty of stuff there. We're going to have productions going, obviously, for obvious reasons, among numerous other things, right? Still don't know what I want to do with the track here. I mean, I like that track texture, but I don't know. I really, really, really think it makes a lot more sense for me to try to tie it into the sand. The problem with the sand is that it's really hard. Well, early on, it was really hard for us to do anything in that. I think now that we have a little bit more of a foothold here, we've got 2 very capable tractors, as a matter of fact, to be able to go through that sand with the amount of horsepower that they have and the torque. I don't think it's necessarily a problem anymore. So it might be something that I consider going back to the sand texture here for at least the track, right? And also, I think will look really good with the dark asphalt texture. I think it's just going to pop a little bit better. So we'll see. I mean, I haven't fully made that decision up yet, obviously, because we still have that other texture down on the ground, but we might change it again and make it back to sand now that we've got a little bit more of a foothold here. One thing I do need to look at after you do a quick autosave, of course, is the sheep and the chickens. I think they're okay, but we haven't looked at them for a couple of episodes. Ooh, the chickens are getting a little low. The sheep are fine. Sheep are fine, which I kind of expected the sheep to be fine, honestly. They've got plenty of meadow grass to chew on over there, and then I've got tons and tons of grass sitting over there. Now, some of it's on the trailer, and I probably need to get it off that trailer here soon. Because I think we are going to have some straw here soon enough. Now, when we get that straw, we've got to figure out what we're going to do with it. Are we going to go the forage wagon approach, or are we going to go the baler approach? I'm leaning towards the forage wagon approach. Just because we're doing kind of the baling approach from the Triple Threat Challenge, which is actively also running on the series right now. So I think I'm going to go forage wagon. Now, I know this wants us to go a different way. I'm doing it this way for right now just so I can give myself plenty of room to turn around. I know we're already, obviously, harvesting that sorghum field, so there's a little bit more room than we normally would have, but I'm just going to do this to make my life a little bit easier. All right. And we'll go the more traditional way the rest of the way here. So, we've got some work to do. Let's get going. We're going to get this field done, as I mentioned. And then we'll get started on plowing that field up once we get it harvested, of course. So once we're done with this, we'll jump into the other harvester, and we'll get going with the worker there in tandem getting that field harvested. All right, good progress is being made. I've had a hell of a lot of issues with the worker over there. They, for whatever reason, were doing some weird turns and kept getting blocked by some of the pallets of sorghum that we had, so I had to move those, and among numerous other issues, but we're getting there. We are getting there slowly but surely. We are getting there. So we're going to flip around here. We're going to continue on, and then one thing I want to do, because we haven't done it yet, is look and see what's in the used market today, if anything. Don't have a ton of money, but like I said, we're going to sell some, well, as of last episode, we were going to sell some stuff today. I haven't looked, to be fair. So let's take a look and see what's out here. Ooh, that wheel loader would be really, really nice to have. Super expensive. Another John Deere, which, again, definitely could be something we could potentially utilize, but not really, with only being able to use one worker. It kind of limits us a little bit there. Case Patriot 4450 would be pretty nice as well. But again, those are very, very expensive. We're not going to get that kind of money today from the stuff we sell. We're going to make good money, but it's not going to be that kind of money. You know, we don't have any clothes to sell, and that's really our big money maker right now, are the clothes. And the best time to sell clothes has now surpassed. It is starting to decline pretty quickly here. So probably not going to be selling clothes again until next year. And I expect we're going to have, or I'm hoping we'll have a lot more clothes next time to sell than we did this time. Not that we didn't have enough. We had plenty, but I think we're going to have a significant amount more because, well, one, we're going to have significantly larger fields here with cotton in them, and a lot more cotton fields for that matter as well, right? So we will see. So let me flip around here again. We'll put it back on the steering assist, if you will. And then we will do a quick autosave, and let's see what's going on here with some of the crops that we have. So we have sunflowers, we have peas, which they keep moving. It's Crustu's fault. They keep moving on us. I swear last month we looked, it said June. Now it's July. All right. Well, you know what? I guess we're going to wait. I'm not going to lose $500 off of each one of those pallets. That's a lot of money. So I guess we'll wait. So I guess I'm incorrect in that statement. We also have soybeans, which soybeans should be this month. They are. Good. So we will sell the soybeans. They're still going up. So that's also good for us, right? We'll kind of wait to the very end and sell those to see what kind of money we get out of that. And then, obviously, we've got this sorghum here, and then we have the sunflowers, right? So, the sorghum, obviously, it's not good right now. We'll wait till January on that, or we'll put it in for the chickens, one way or another. And then the sunflowers are not terrible, but they're not as good as I'd want them to be. So, we'll at least wait at a bare minimum until September, October. And that's probably only we'll sell them there if we absolutely have to. If not, we'll wait until next year for those as well. All right, the worker is full, so we need to unload the worker. So give me a moment here. I'll turn around, and then we will do that. The worker is over here on our side now, so we are getting really close to finishing this harvest. All right. Yeah, so we've just got these little strips here left to do. Well, these little strips. This little strip, I should say. It's not multiples. One strip, I guess. We got a lot of pallets out of this, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm getting ready to drop the 8th one right now. 8. Yeah. And we might be missing one still. There might be even 9 there. I don't know. But still a decent amount, honestly, off this field. So that's good, right? That's real good. All things considered, especially with it only being 50% fertilization, right? That's going to change soon enough, too. We'll get, like I said, we'll get some kind of a grass roller soon, and we'll start doing the grass approach again. But until that time comes, we're back to the oilseed radish approach here. Now, we might not have enough time to do everything that I said I wanted to do today with this field. It might be a situation where we get it plowed up, but I'm not sure if we get it reseeded or not, right? The other thing I'm thinking through here is that this field looks like it'll be ready to harvest next month, but that's probably it for a while. You know, we've got a lot of cotton fields now, and the cotton fields, they take a long time, right? They do. They take a long time. So, and honestly, except for this one down here, all of them have been planted in either last month or this month, right? So they're very fresh, and it's going to be a long time before they're ready. So it might be good for us to hold off a little bit and have a few more things to do. Now, the other thing to note here is all this money we're going to make, right? I'm talking about getting some equipment, some harvesters, things like that. Honestly, it might be even more beneficial for us to buy another plot of land instead, just so we can continue to have more things to do here because, as I showed you, this will be ready next month, but after that, it's going to be at least a month, maybe 2, before we have something else ready to harvest. So, you know, it's going to be a minute, right? So we probably should try to strategize that a little bit. Now, of course, I could just skip months. Of course I could. But, you know, if I can help it, even though I said, you know, this series, well, Chris, you said this series, you're allowed to do it, right? I'm going to try to do the best I can to not always just do that. I just feel like it, I've said this before, and I'll say it again, it just feels a little cheaty. But, you know, I am allowing that a little bit more than I normally would be in the past. of skipping months. I'm doing it in the Triple Threat Challenge as well, right? But still, I kind of always fall back to that approach of it just feels a little cheaty to be able to just jump months just so I can win, right? It just makes it a little easier, I think, than trying to find things to do. Maybe not as exciting to watch, I don't know, but that's just how I feel, I guess. But anyway. All right, so we are pretty much done here. Where is the worker at as far as... we'll just go ahead and unload here. He's going to have another 14 liters there, it looks like, unfortunately, but that is what it is. I was hoping I was going to stop him right at 1,000, but I just missed it by ever so slightly there. It was just a little bit more than 1,000. I was trying not to have another small pallet of 14 liters if I can help it, right? But it is, I mean, we'll just put it in with the chickens. It's not a big deal. All right, can we please get on the proper line here? Thank you. Thank you. All right, so, well, we know we're selling the soybeans today. I don't know how many pallets of soybeans we had over there. I don't think it's a ton. I think it was like maybe five pallets maybe. So, I mean, that's going to be good money, but it's, again, we're not going to be, we're not going to all of a sudden be able to buy a cotton harvester from that, right? So, yeah. All right, the harvest is now officially done. Great. All right, so we'll lift this up. I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to do the tactic that all of you said I should do, which is 100% correct. I should. And just when we come to pick up these pallets, we'll just put these on the trailer as well, just to save ourselves a little bit of time. So let's grab, you know what, we'll use the Fiat for it. Don't want the Fiat to feel like it's not getting any love, so we'll use the Fiat and go that approach from here. Need to paint that grass over there against the edge of the barn there. I haven't done that yet, but... well, I say paint it, put some asphalt down on it, but, you know, it doesn't have to be done right now. There's evidently an invisible wall right here. I swear I hit that again recently, and I was wondering what that was, but there's an invisible wall right there based off of that palletizer, so... Just trying to put these up against close to the edge here on purpose so I can give myself enough room for the pallets to be on here as well. Really, really enjoying this challenge by Krusty. This has been a lot of fun, this challenge here. A lot left to do. We're not anywhere close to being done with this challenge. It's going to be a long one. We're going to have... this might be the longest series that I've ever done, honestly. It has a very high probability that it's going to be. You know, just half the fact of having to own every single plot of land and build the dream home, right? Which is going to take a while. And that's why I've been mentioning soon enough we need to get started on that, because it is going to take a while. So when these slower months start to hit here soon, right, it would be nice for us to be able to have some plots of land that actually have some trees on it. Where it currently stands, we only have, well, really one, and it doesn't have a ton. This plot of land here is the only one we have, so it's those ones there kind of down here at the bottom of the hill. It's not even the ones on the side of the hill. It's the ones down closer to us here. Certainly we can utilize those and obviously, you know, remove those. I'm not sure I want to remove all of them, though. I kind of like the idea of removing more of them off of the side of the hills versus the ones that are on the bottom and the flat area. I know that sounds weird to say because the flat area I could turn into, you know, some kind of a field, right? But I don't know. I just like the idea of having those trees in the flat area because I can probably, you know, do some, well, I say theming. Theming's not the right word, but I can do some designing around them, right? Whereas the ones that are on the side of the hill, there's really not much I can do with those. I can't really put a building up there. I mean, I can, I guess, but, well, I don't even know. The game might not even allow you to do it. I don't know, but it would be, it might say that it can't, you know, the texture or the ground texture can't be modified or whatever that, you know, warning error that pops up is. I don't remember what it actually specifically states, but all right. Oh, there's one more. I forgot one. Need to go get it. So what does that end up being? Not counting the one that has 14 liters in it. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. Yeah, 9 of them, not counting the small one, and this one's not full. So it's probably pretty close to 9. It's probably like 8 3/4 of a pallet. Oh, there's another one. How did we miss this one? We were right next to it. How did we miss that one? Oh boy. All right, strap that down and we'll get on our way over here. Now again, the palletizer, a lot of you mentioned that there is, sometimes you've been running into issues where it gives you more than you're supposed to get out of that. If it happens, I guess we're going to have to do kind of something we did earlier on where we kind of screwed up a bit, right? I don't know what happened here either. I didn't do any of this. I don't know what's going on here. Weird. Wonder if there was an update maybe that I missed on the map and it just caused some sinking. I don't know what that is. That's weird. Anyway, you know, there's probability that there might be an issue. And if there is an issue, we're going to have to, guess, do the same thing we did early on with, you know, the grass that we sold, the silage that we sold in this instance. You know, I don't really know. I don't know the answer here. I hope that doesn't happen, but a lot of you said that there has been some issues that you've seen in the past with that, with utilizing it. So I guess if that's what ends up happening, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'll have to figure out some other way to pay some of that money back. I'm going to put another one in here because we're getting a lot of chickens in here now, which is great. We're making a lot more money off the eggs there, but really I don't want to be putting a whole lot of sorghum in there for them. I kind of want to keep the sorghum, you know, for other, for selling, I guess, really, or for turning it into something else. Sorghum ends up being relatively good money here in FS25, so hopefully that wheat field will be done soon enough, and then that's what we can really utilize to help feed the chickens as we move forward, right? Whatever that harvest is, we'll kind of utilize that for the chickens. It is still pretty light green, though, so it's going to be a ways. That's why I'm saying I don't think we're going to have as many of these as I was hoping to have as far as the sorghum goes, unfortunately. But it is what it is. So I guess one way we can figure out, you know, if this is truly going to be an issue or not with the palletizer is we've got some sunflowers in there. I guess the way to go about it is to have the sunflowers be put into pallets and, you know, kind of go from there, right? Because here's some sunflowers here too. So I guess that's the way to go about it. Let's move these soybeans. We do not have a whole lot of soybeans. It's even less than I said we had. We've got really 3, maybe? Almost 3 pallets of soybeans, so it's not that much. But, you know, each pallet's going to be worth around $3 grand, so, you know, it's nice. Nice little 10 grand addition there. I can't believe the peas keep moving on us. I was hoping that was going to be a nice payday for us, because we've got a decent amount of peas over here on this side. Right? That's a decent amount. But it's obviously not the close decent amount, but, you know, it's a decent amount nonetheless. So for now, I'm just going to keep storing these right here until the time comes for us to actually start utilizing the palletizer. Again, the palletizer is really only going to be useful for us once we get a harvester, right? We don't really have a harvester yet, so, you know, there's not really a main reason to be putting stuff over there. I've got the small amount of sunflowers over there just because we wanted to test, you know, to make sure that it would actually accept them properly. And now we need to test with those sunflowers and see if we produce more than what we put in there or not when we once again go to say, okay, turn it into a pallet for us. But there's not really a reason to do that until, you know, it's time for us to go and sell them. So but I guess, you know, one of these next month or the following month, whatever it may be, when we have got, you know, a little less to do, we could always test it then, I suppose. Yeah, I don't think we're actually going to get anything on that other field that we just harvested done today like I anticipated. We are getting a lot longer into this episode than I anticipated we would be at. I mean, we've got to sell this, and I want to move over some of the wool over here from the sheep as well. So yeah, we're probably going to have to do that next episode, which is fine. Again, we'll have another thing to harvest, but we can work on that field as well and kind of get that set, too. I always feel like I'm going to have more time than I actually end up having, which is a good and bad thing, really. We don't have anything happening right now in Grandma's Knitwear. They get a little bit of a couple-month break here, but we're going to get them started up again right now. They're going to work through some of this wool here. Now, I might get one pallet of clothes out of this, maybe. But we need to get some more sheep going, too. We probably need a lot more sheep, as a matter of fact. If you recall, when we put the sheep in there initially, we only put a small amount of sheep in there. We need more. But here you go on the left side, you can see that I did put that grass texture down kind of all the way around. So, you know, I did that off camera. I just don't think that's the most exciting thing to watch, so I just decided to do that off camera. All right, so that's that. Let's do a quick autosave. Let's turn on Grandma's Knitwear and get the wool going again. Perfect. 2,412 liters of wool. So yeah, we have 377 liters of clothes in there right now. So actually, we might end up making one pallet out of that. I'm very, very happy. I know I said it earlier on, but I'm very happy with how this is going to turn out. Everything's kind of fallen into place now. A little rough at the beginning, as we mentioned a couple of times. Really rough at the beginning, but we've got ourselves back in a real good spot now. So let's head up to the shop, and we'll see what we get off this soybeans. Like I said, I'm expecting somewhere in the range of probably... Well, actually, was there 2 places to sell this? I thought I sold 2 places. Oh, palletizer. Yeah, well, we're not selling it at the palletizer. 3,221, so I think you're going to be more around 8,000. Close to 9, but not quite there. All right, here we go. Oh, it was more than I thought it was going to be. We got 12,117, but we also got the 150 for each of those pallets, which I always forget about. Okay. Huh. That's good. That's 26,000. That's good. Unfortunately, it's not enough money for us to really buy any of this except for the John Deere here. Well, I guess we could buy the baler, but yeah. Not really enough money to buy any of that. Not enough money to buy another plot of land either, so... But we're going to leave the episode at that point, gang. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button. In the case you've yet to do so, they are free to do, and it helps me and the channel out more than you can possibly imagine. It's actually the easiest way to help me out. If you want to become a member, there's a link down below. You do get early access to videos like this one, so I want to thank each and every single one of my members for all of their continued support. Many of them have been members for over a year now, which is insanity. So, yeah, you get a members-only series as well. Basically, it's a series where we kind of go through, well, most of the time at least, we go through different ideas that are in my brain to see if it makes sense for any kind of an actual series. And then I take the input that all of them have and try to incorporate that into a new series when we get ready to start one. When it's not that, right now we're just kind of doing an own the map type of thing whenever there's not a new series being prepared or ready to go. So, but anyway, I will leave the episode at this point. Check out the second channel, check out the Discord. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you next time.